All right, guys, we are going to spend quite a bit of time on the cover sheet and, and how you should set up your cover title block and, inputting all the information for the cover. So let's just go back here. Let's create a symbols legend from scratch. Of course, if you guys are working at an office, they'll have all of these things for you, but I want to show you guys from scratch how to set it up. So let's do a symbols legend. And let me see. The symbols legend really will be done on a template. We will cover what the template's all about at maybe at another class or maybe a more advanced Revit class. But in your case, let's just create one for your project. So if you come down here to all your views, right, here's all your plan views. Here's legends. You want to right click and say you want to create a new legend. So let's first describe what a legend is, right? A legend is almost like a family in a sense, but it's a separate sheet. Think of it as a separate sheet of paper that you can create whatever you need on that, and then you can drag that onto anywhere you wish, into other multiple sheets of paper. So just think of it as a brand new sheet of paper. So, and of course it's a little bit more complex, but I don't want to get too much into that. So we'll just call this symbols. Symbol legend. Can't see my keyboard here. Jeez, I can't type this morning. So now I have a brand new thing called the symbol legend, which I've opened up. It's just a blank sheet of paper. Of course, I can close it and then double click on it. So this is where I want to create a symbol legend. View scale is kind of important because it's going to determine how big your text shows up on a sheet of paper. So let's just kind of go at it. So what I did was I took a screenshot of my legend to just try to figure out how to recreate this thing. And I have a computer, so you guys can do it yourself also. So I'm going to say import image. So I have it in here. This is just a sample. So I first want to have a text called symbols legend. All right. 1/4 inch sounds good to me at the moment. Yeah. All caps. Gosh, I can't type today. Okay, so I have that. Let's just put in a bold underline. So I'm going to go to detail lines. Oh, this is the first time I guess I'll be covering this, but line weights. By default, Revit comes with these line weights. At another time, I'll show you guys how to customize that. But I want wide lines, which is their thickest line that they have. If you kind of want to get a preview, although the preview is kind of not great, is you can hit this button here, which is it actually shows you how thick that line is versus just kind of default view. So I'm good with that. Actually, as a matter of fact, let me show you guys later. All right. So let's first put in some tags. So now you have a choice of actually drawing this little shape and then putting a text, just random text saying, whenever you see this, I mean door tag. Whenever you see this, I mean window tag. Whenever you see this, it's a room tag. So you can literally draw it and write it out from scratch. But if we're going to use the Revit symbols, which they already did, then there's no reason to recreate that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here, to all the families that's loaded into my file, and then go into annotation symbols, and I'll see a door tag. So I can grab one of these things over, and then there it is, right? And so this is a door tag. I didn't have to redraw it. And you do have to do this part though. We're going to put a text. And since it's not a title, I want a smaller text. I am going to write, oops. So this is basically what a symbol legend is. We're just saying, when you see this symbol, this is what I mean, right? So I'm saying that's a door tag symbol. And I can make it smaller. do some housekeeping here so that I can have 2 rows of symbols. Into this now. So window tag, you will find it here. Window tag. So let me put all the tags in, and then you guys can write your own, names on it. Room tag. So I have 3 different room tags here. Let's just take a look at all of them. I have this room tag, which is just a room name. I have this room tag. That'll give me a name and a square footage on the bottom. But there's no reason for me to do all the different tags that I have. Basically, when they see a square box, it just means it's a room tag. So I'm just going to use the very first option here, which is this. So I have that. You know what? I'm not going to do the slope arrow, but I'll do a revision tag. This will be the revision tag. Sometimes when we do HVAC, sometimes we don't do it. Again, you guys can load up all the tags here and pop it in if you like, So I would think try to go ahead and find the tags and put it and make it look like my example or the handout. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'd like you guys to find and fish and search yourself. But let me at least help you find these things. So north arrow, what do I have here? Yeah, that's cool. North arrow. These are views. So if we come here, that's not what I want. No, I didn't need the view tag, my bad. So these are section cuts and stuff like that. So I can go to section head filled. If I bring that over, that's the arrow with the triangle filled in. I can bring the section head, but I don't want the triangle, so I'm going to say no arrow. Bring that in, and you guys can finish out the rest and put in all the text, okay? So let me just show you. All right, guys, I am back, and I've created the symbols legend here. And then now let's figure out how to bring that symbols legend into our cover sheet, our site plan, or our title sheet. All you have to do is find your symbol legend, because we've created that. Just drag it out, and there you go. It's going to show right down here. So just like that, right? And then we'll do the legend, site legend, and we'll do all of these other things as we continue on with this demo. All right, so here on the symbol legend, every view that you bring in should have a view title and a view title number. But in this particular case, I don't want a title. I already have my title here, and I don't want any numbers or anything like that. So I want to get rid of this. Well, how do I do that? So first of all, you guys have to understand the anatomy of a view. So this is this view, right? So if I double click this, this is the blank sheet of paper I have. For instance, whatever I draw here. If I come down to my title sheet, it's drawn here. And so that little dark line, whenever I put my mouse over it, that's the window of my view. If I double click within that box, I'm actually in that drawing as if I'm editing that particular view, just like if I was here in this window here, right? Even if I close it. And then and you notice that anything outside of the box is a little bit gray. It means that I am actually in that view, right? If I double click outside of it twice, now I'm in my overall view. So every view window obviously has a name. Well, where does this name come from? Well, from the name that I give it here. It has a scale. Well, where did that scale come from? If I double click here, again, I have my name, or I gave it a name, and then the scale of my view is down here, right? So it's set up in particularly my legends view. So that's where they get that information. And the number, I can name this any number that I want, this particular viewport, right? So we'll get into that. But in this particular case, I do not want to see a name or a title of my view. It's going to be titleless. So if I click this, it's going to tell me that it's viewport 1. And if I go to edit, it tells me if I have if I want to use the family viewport number 1, it's going to have a view title. Show title, yes. So what I want to do is I'm going to duplicate that and just say view. I'll just name it myself, view title, no name, because I don't want any name. And so then here I can just say no, and let's see what that does. So there you go. It's gone now. It does have it, it's just not showing it. But if I now go to viewport 1, it'll show me this, with the scale and the whole bit. If I go to no name, it'll just give me just my symbol. All right, so there's that. All right, so let's go ahead and continue to make a little bit more legends. I realize that this is it's going to take you guys a little bit of time because you're setting up everything from scratch. But please look at this as good experience and opportunity for you to practice. Let's create our site legend here. And again, I'm going to come down to my legends, right click and say new. Site legend. I do have a screenshot again just so that I don't have to flip my window back and forth. So this is where I'm going to say on my site plan, if you just see a white hatch, that means existing house. If I give you a diagonal hatch on my site plan, that's a new addition. For instance, take a look here. I'm not even, oh yeah. So that actually should not be dark, but here's a diagonal for new addition, for existing houses, so it's just, if I show you this symbol, what is that? That's landscape, right? So that is all down here. So let's go ahead and create our own kind of legend. And this one, I'm probably going to just do it from scratch. So let's go to annotate, again, text. I want a large text for my title. And of course, if you want to make it bolder and stuff like that, go and experiment, guys. There's a lot of stuff right in here. So I won't do it in this example, but I need you guys to all experiment and be brave and try to customize it yourself. All right. So in this case, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a region fill, because that's what we should do in the office, which is we basically draw a two-dimensional hatch. So I'm just going to click this and I'll make a 4 feet by 4 feet box. Of course, it's 4 feet by 4 feet showing because we have it at a 1/4 inch view. And then click that. And then, so this particular hatch that I've created. So by Revit, by default, it's giving me all these hatches here. And you guys can create your own hatch patterns. But right now, let's just keep everything out of the box as much as possible. So I think that one I'm going to use down here for a remodel hatch. Actually, I'm going to make copies of this. One, two. CC is the shortcut. All right, so I have 6 hatch pattern that I copied, and I'm going to modify this and to make this a clear white. So right now, the fill region, this is the fill region, is showing diagonal crosshatch. And I notice that I don't have a white right now. So I'm going to just go to solid black for now. And then I'm going to, on that solid black, I'm going to edit that. And it says solid black. I'm going to duplicate, and I'm going to say solid white. And then foreground fill color to be white. Background fill color, I suppose it doesn't matter because my foreground is being filled. So I think that's fine. In general though, I like to use the background as a solid color and then the foreground as textures. So in this case, really to be, if you want it to be anal, I don't even know if I can do none here. Oh, here. I can go none, meaning I don't want anything in the foreground, so it doesn't matter what color I put in. And my background fill color, I want it to be solid, and I want that to be white. So in effect, right here, I turned off my foreground. So again, it doesn't matter what color I put here. My background, I'm saying, hey, I want it white, solid, and okay. So now that's white. So if I want to copy kind of one diagonal crosshatch, I guess it'll be diagonal down. There's that. That's fine. Concrete. Do I have a concrete? I do not have concrete. So again, I'm going to just take any crosshatch. Let me just take the white one that we just made. I'm going to edit that. Go to duplicate and just say concrete. Oop, no period. And then in this case, this is a good example actually. So my background color, I want it to be white because I just want it to be solid. But in this case, my foreground, I want it to be a pattern, this concrete pattern that we have. And I don't want that pattern to be white because I can't see it, but maybe I want it to be a light gray or a dark gray. So again, what I'm saying is that I want you to fill in a white box, and on top of the white box, the foreground, I want you to put a gray concrete pattern. So there you go on there. And let's do grass. I don't even know if I have this texture. Duplicate. What do I call it? Grass. Okay. So I'm going to say duplicate, and I'm going to say grass / turf. Shoot, I should have taken the white. So I want my background to be white, solid white, and my foreground to be so there is no grass or turf pattern loaded here. Model. Nope. I guess I'm going to have to give you guys something because creating a pattern from scratch in Revit is not easy. It's easier for you to import them in. So the new patterns are more easier to import I actually imported most of my patterns from AutoCAD. Let's see. All right, guys, I debated how I was going to show you guys how to create custom hatch patterns, and this is the best I can do. If you guys go back to the download for, I actually uploaded onto the ARC 164 Module 1 folder. I'll create a link for it eventually, but you'll see a pattern file. This is my personal library of all the patterns. So I have a bunch. I have not taken the time to name them. So you can see I have hundreds and hundreds of these things. So go ahead and please download them. And then once you download it, you can actually open up that file in Revit. So this is how you would do it. You would select one of these things and you want to edit this hatch. Go to edit type. And obviously you want to duplicate it because you don't want to copy over the diagonal crosshatch. So we'll call this one grass / turf. All right. So now we have a brand new pattern called grass / turf. We do not want to use this hatch. Dang it! I keep on make the background white, and then come down here, and this is what Revit comes out of the box. These kind of standard hatches. Well, if you come down here, you can create a brand new pattern, and you say custom, and then you browse. And then you are going to go to the folder where you downloaded my hatch that I'm going to give you a link to. And unfortunately, I didn't have the time to name them, so you're just going to have to figure out which one is which. But I do have tons and tons of them. So feel free to just kind of bring them in and figure things out. I'm just going to take on, I think I started one a long time ago called grass. So here is grass or ground cover. And I'm sure it's not the same grass that I'm using on my template at the moment, but it's okay. So here's some hatch patterns, right? You could also make them smaller if you like, if it comes in too big. Let's just go 0.5. It's a pretty bad hatch, but it's okay. So there it is. I'm going to say okay. So whenever I want grass turf, I want you to show me this hatch. And there it is, right? And then I'm going to pick some other random stuff for planter area. Now, again, if you don't get the perfect hatch pattern, I don't care. It's going to be different from office to office. Duplicate. What is it? Planter area. New. I'm going to pick number 39. No, that doesn't look good. Oh boy, we can be here forever. Man, I have no idea what these things. Oh, there's ground cover. All right, I'll take that. So there you go. All right, so that's how you can create your own little hatch patterns. And then of course you're going to put your text next to them. And then we're good off to the next demo.